The newsprint felt cold to the touch. It was a damp morning in Düsseldorf, 1929. A headline screamed, "Phantom strikes again. Another victim found." The city awoke to chilling news. A young girl, lifeless in a quiet park. No witnesses, only silence and a growing fear. This was not the first time. The phantom's name was whispered in the dark, becoming legend. Innocence lost. A brutal interruption of peace. They were hunting a ghost. The phantom was still out there. The newspaper was a carrier. People spoke in hushed tones, looked over their shoulders. Every dark alley held a threat. The headline had poisoned public trust. Neighbors became strangers. The name wasn't in the paper yet, just the phantom. Or, as some whispered, the vampire of Düsseldorf. It spoke of a creature feeding on the city's lifeblood. The story was being written in blood. The nightmare had only begun. Düsseldorf was a city of contrasts. By day, it bustled with industry and life. But when the sun set, another city emerged, one of deep shadows and hidden corners. The gaslights cast a ghostly glow on wet cobblestones. Familiar streets became a labyrinth of fear. The darkness was a presence. He owned the night. Shortcuts by day, death traps by night. Every footstep echoed, every gust of wind a whisper. This was Düsseldorf's new reality, a city holding its breath. The phantom thrived in the darkness, and the city waited for dawn. The attacks were random, brutal and unpredictable. Victims were unconnected. Children, workers, the vulnerable. No one felt safe. The phantom was chaos incarnate, a ghost made of flesh and blood. His weapons were ordinary: hammer, knife, scissors, making him even more terrifying. He didn't just kill, he savored it. Police found scenes of calculated cruelty, belongings arranged, handkerchiefs folded. These were not crimes of passion, but of a cold, methodical predator. He played with the city, starting fires, watching from the crowd, enjoying the chaos. The fires became his signature, a public performance of power. He wanted the city to feel his presence, to know he was in control. The flames were his message. Whispers grew louder, stories of a man who drank blood. The vampire of Düsseldorf was no longer just a nickname. The supernatural seemed plausible. The truth was too horrific. People preferred to believe in monsters, not men. The city's fear became legend. The whispers filled the silence, louder than the rain. The phantom's terror was everywhere. Düsseldorf was gripped by dread. The monster was real. The city's nightmares had come alive. The rain washed away hope, not fear. Every drop echoed with whispers of horror. The phantom's legend grew with every storm. The city's only comfort was the hope that dawn would bring safety. But the night always returned, and so did the whispers. The rain never stopped. The phantom craved attention. He began sending letters to police and newspapers, boasts, taunts, chilling details. He corrected press reports, described his crimes, drew crude maps to buried victims. The police followed his clues, finding what he promised. It was a grotesque game, cat and mouse, but the mouse led the cat. Each discovery was another victory for him. The police became pawns in his twisted game. He called from public phones, taunted them, misled them. He even sent condolences to a victim's family. He hid in plain sight. Anyone could be the phantom. This knowledge poisoned public trust. The phantom was a master of psychological warfare. The investigation became a circus. Thousands of suspects, wild theories, desperate measures. The police commissioner was under siege. Even legendary detectives couldn't catch him. The phantom was always one step ahead. He was toying with the city, and he was winning. The city watched, waited, and feared. The phantom's game was relentless. The police were overwhelmed. The public was terrified. The city was losing hope. The phantom's legend grew with every taunt. Düsseldorf was trapped in his game. Paranoia became the new normal. Düsseldorf was a city of locked doors and empty streets. Vigilante groups formed. Suspicion turned to violence. The police battled both a killer and a city on the brink of chaos. The Phantom had turned citizens against each other. Fear became a booming business. Locks, dogs, whistles. Authorities tried to restore calm, but panic drowned them out. The Phantom was now a boogeyman, the monster under every bed. The city's mental health collapsed under the strain. The Phantom had taken Düsseldorf hostage. The city was under siege by a single man. The monster made a mistake. He attacked Maria Butley's, but she escaped and told a friend. A letter of accusation reached his wife, Augusta. The Phantom's reign was ending, not by police work, but by a simple letter. The man was PeterKürten, a quiet factory worker. Augusta confronted him. He confessed to the attack and promised to turn himself in. She went to the police. The arrest was quiet, anticlimactic. Kürten waited calmly in a church, surrendering without struggle. He looked ordinary, average height, receding hairline, gentle demeanor. The most terrifying thing, he could be anyone. News spread. PeterKürten, the vampire of Düsseldorf, was in custody. Relief swept the city, but disbelief lingered. Could this man really be the monster? The city had captured its boogeyman. Now it had to face the reality of who he truly was. The nightmare was over, but the scars remained. The city emerged from fear, but trust was slow to return. The legend was unmasked. The ordinary face of evil was revealed. Düsseldorf would never forget. The Phantom was just a man. The interrogations began. PeterKürten spoke freely, almost cheerfully, recounting every detail. He confessed to murders the police didn't know about, corrected their facts. He found pleasure in fear, enjoyed the sight of blood, confessed to drinking it. The lurid whispers were true. He described the fires, the taunts, the game he played with the city. He showed no remorse, only pride. He saw himself as a great criminal, destined for infamy. His confessions revealed a lifetime of violence, not just recent murders. The police realized they had caught a man evil to his core. Psychiatrists found him intelligent, articulate, sane. He simply didn't care. He felt no empathy, no connection to others. His confessions were a window into a mind devoid of humanity. The legend faded, replaced by the terrifying reality of the man. PeterKürten was not a monster from myth. He was a man, utterly without conscience. The city was left to grapple with that truth. The Phantom's mask was gone. The trial began in April 1931, a media sensation. The courtroom was packed. The world wanted to see the monster. PeterKürten sat calm, often smiling, enjoying the attention. This was his grand finale. The prosecution's case was overwhelming. Witnesses, letters, maps, confessions. His wife testified. There was no doubt of his guilt. The trial catalogued his evil for all to see. His defense argued insanity, but Kürten insisted he was sane and proud. He corrected details, wanted the world to know everything. He was his own worst enemy and best prosecutor. The verdict was inevitable. Guilty on 9 counts of murder, 7 of attempted murder, sentenced to death 9 times. Kürten showed no emotion, simply accepted his fate. He had achieved his goal, to be remembered. He had become a legend. Now he would be executed. The story of the vampire of Düsseldorf was nearly over. The city watched as justice was served. The trial closed a chapter of horror. The monster would face his end. The city could finally begin to heal. The legend would live on, but the man would not. The nightmare was ending. The day of execution arrived. July 2nd, 1931. PeterKürten was calm, even cheerful, eating a large final meal. He asked the prison doctor if he'd hear his own blood after the guillotine fell. He walked to the yard, strapped in, made a final statement, hoping his death would serve as a warning. The blade fell. Silence followed. The reign of the vampire of Düsseldorf was over. The man was gone, but the memory remained. The city's scars were deep. He had shown that evil can wear an ordinary face. His true legacy was paranoia and mistrust. PeterKürten is gone, but his story endures. A chilling reminder of the darkness within the human heart. The streets are peaceful now, but the echo of terror remains. A whisper on the wind, a chill in the night. The haunting question, how many more like him are out there, waiting?